Welcome to our new session of MJM 024 Media and Society. So far, we have learned the relevance of media and society, examined the needs of the audience, and approach for audience research, and further known the economic drivers of the media industry. Today, we will discuss mass media policies. Our session is structured to communicate first the learning outcome of Unit 4, Mass Media Policies. We will briefly discuss the important role media plays in the society and create a basic understanding of the purpose and meaning of policies. With this foundation, we will elaborate objectives of media policies and understand divergent views on media policies from a national and international perspective. At the end of this unit, the learner should be able to discuss the meaning, role, and objectives of media policy, describe the divergent views on media policies, outline the media policy scenario in India, describe the global perspectives on media policies, examine the obstacles and impediments in adopting media policies, discuss the policy contours in the print media. We all know that mass media plays an important role in the life of people. Mass media has the basic role of informing the people about its government's day-to-day functioning and how it conducts its administrative business. The media educates the people of their rights and makes them aware of the responsibility of monitoring the performance of government in the interest of society. Media also plays the role in entertaining people. As the media performs all these functions, it is also entrusted a bigger responsibility of acting as a watchdog on government and public leaders, and blow the whistle in case they deviate from duties ascribed in the Constitution. Therefore, mass media is termed as the fourth pillar of a democratic country. The other three pillars being Parliament, executives or administrative machinery, and the judiciary. In view of the strategic role media plays as the fourth pillar of democracy, the complex nature of different forms of mass media, the number of people on varied demography, and the impact that the visual, texts, and audios have on shaping the opinion of society, people felt need to set up policies to offer a guiding code of conduct. As per Webster's dictionary, the policy can be defined as a definite course of action adopted for the sake of expediency, facility, or a document embodying a contract. It can take the form of goals, courses of action, or declaration on societal values. To define policies for mass media, it can be defined as formal and informal strategies underpinned by specific interests, values, and goals that shape the emergence of mechanisms designed to structure the direction and behavior in a particular media environment. The media policy is broader than just legal norms and rules relating to ownership, licensing, etc. They entail government rules and regulations to encourage the media business to flourish and also levy strict controls and regulations. Government develops policies and guidelines for all activities of strategic importance. The mass media by nature churns out the news that deeply impacts our lives and our relationship with the government. The last decade has seen unprecedented growth in the technological use for mass media, and new trends over the last decade are affecting government functioning and their public relation. The upcoming trends of the use of artificial intelligence to create deep fake need to be watched. Therefore, media policy is recommended to make the life of citizens productive and meaningful. Media plays an important role to frame government policies by helping government understand people's views and their interaction with existing government policies. With the emergence of privately owned mass media channels, it is not possible for government to enforce direct control on the programs and their content. Thus, media policy cannot have any controlled, promotional, or propagandist flavor about the government schemes. After understanding the importance of media policy, we will now define its objectives. The primary objectives of media policies should be promoting, preserving, and protecting India as a free, independent, sovereign, democratic, and a progressive nation. The Information and Broadcasting Ministry developed 8 objectives for laying down a broad framework of the relationship of government with both national and international media, such as television, domestic and foreign cable, video, internet, radio, newspaper, films, etc. These objectives are not to permit growth of monopoly in any media, project developmental, societal, cultural, and economic needs of people, preserve, promote, and strengthen democratic culture, traditions, national integration, and scientific temper, promote and strengthen national integrity built on secularism, cultural, and linguistic diversities, facilitate greater access to information, education, and entertainment to all sections of people, enable development amidst the challenges of rapid technology, provide wider choices to people in information and entertainment. Last but not the least, act as a catalyst for social change. Considering mass media as the fourth pillar of democracy, it needs to be free of any monitoring and rigid rules and regulations. However, there are divergent views of regulation on media by any type of rigid structure. Two important perspectives are regulated media policy and unregulated media policy. Under a democratic rule, any form of government interference with business and even the notion that the intrusion of the state into the exercise of market forces inevitably leads to the control of ideas. This type of control would be termed as regulated media policy. The unregulated media policy or free media play encourages a variety of channels for expression, discourages concentration of control, and ensures the necessity of freely awarding franchisees to use scarce public goods. Unregulated media policy is possible in democratic nations. Generally, they are followed in most situations. However, there are various instances of the government denying information or prohibiting media from publishing information on various issues under the pretext of national security or maintaining social or religious harmony. Various tactics are adopted by governments to align media to their views and follow guidelines that include controlling advertising revenue, denying or delaying statutory approvals, supervising media person, and jailing them on sedation cases. Also, there are several known and unknown basic physical and infrastructural obstacles in implementing the desired media and communication policies in many developing countries. In situations where one party, one person, or totalitarian government exists, media is highly regulated. We observe that the media policies have evolved over the period of 60 years. Early involvement of state on media policy is considered to be regulating the tools such as telephony, telegraphy, and printing. Subsequently, on realizing the media can be manipulated to work against the state, the governments tightened the control by bringing licenses and permits. To create a balance between media freedom and state's interest, UNESCO experts suggested 3 basic requirements of a nation's communication and media policies. These are social values such as obscenity, copyright laws, propaganda, or other ulterior motives in communication put obstacles in free media. This determines the structure of communication systems and guide their operations. Second is system of communication, their structure and operation. Last one is outputs of these systems and their impact on social functions. These factors and essential elements are briefly elaborated under political and legal parameters that constrict the country's focus on politically sanctioned aspirants. Range and exposure will define its geographical, religious, language, and social availability. Nations' economic and commercial rules and regulations for conducting the media business. The global perspective is discussed with the context of the above guidelines. The global perspective is discussed with the context of guidelines in the previous slide. The main criteria are capital share, number of licenses and audience share, and the number of companies in each media industry. A country like Ghana has created a common policy on print, broadcasting, film, wire services, advertising, and public relations. The goal of the policy is that the media shall serve the well-being of all Ghanaians, especially the disadvantaged. It is generally accepted that the government should suggest some broad principles and parameters that consider the nation's constitution, international relations, national aspirations, national values and customs and traditions, and cultural heritage. Media should be free to adopt, self-regulate and observe these national goals and global codes of conduct in performing their day-to-day functions. To create a broader guideline for framing policies, experts have recommended considering national resources, coordinated use of existing or planned infrastructure, making a rational choice of means, consider needs of most disadvantaged strata of society, usefulness to strengthen cultural identity, utilization for continuing education, a role a country can play on the international scene. With these recommendations of experts, we have completed the topic. We have some time for questions. Post your questions in the chat box. Thank you.